working. It's working. All right, so we are now uh, um, streaming. So go ahead. Go ahead. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself. Who is Allie Woods?
Oh gosh. Well, right now let's see, I graduated Flagler College a couple years ago. Now I'm kind of just hanging out in St. Augustine trying to do some creative stuff and figure it out. I've been with Strike Magazine. This is going to be my 8th issue with them. Or no, ninth. It's issue 10 that's coming out soon. So I'm a stylist for them. I do makeup and I've also modeled. I actually want to come out with my own zine in October, so maybe we can talk about that more later. But I'm bad at summarizing myself, but there's a little baseline of what I've been up to.
You're gonna start your own magazine soon? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I think not necessarily a magazine, more so a zine. So it's self-published and it's more DIY. But yeah, the first issue is mostly just almost going to be kind of like a portfolio. So it's just kind of showcasing my modeling. I might include some writing in there as well. I've been thinking about doing some poetry for it, but I'm hoping to have that out by October or November. So it's like I'm in the beginning stages of that right now.
That's sweet. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So,
All right.
you're originally from Southern Ohio, now based in St. Augustine. How have those two places shaped your perspective creatively and personally?
Oh wow. Well, it's interesting because although they're very different geographically, they do have a lot of similarities. Because although St. Augustine is a tourist town, it still does have that small town feel, kind of like my hometown. Obviously different, but growing up in Southern Ohio, I went to a very small Catholic school, so everyone it just kind of seemed like everyone had the same perspective on everything. Like there wasn't a lot of diversity and I wasn't getting a lot of varying opinions or varying perspectives from people that I was talking to. And it's not that I have an issue with religion or anything like that. Like my entire family is Catholic. It was just, I think part of it was also the fact that it was such a small school. It was difficult. I don't know. It's like if you were into anything outside of the norm, you were considered weird. So coming here, it was nice to find a like-minded community of creatives. That was something that I kind of had back home, but definitely not as much as down here. Like there's nothing that I can think of back home in terms of like a magazine or anything like that. So when I came down here, I was really excited to start with that. So I'd say hmm, the main thing is just, yeah, finding that community and like growing with everyone and being comfortable. I think it's great.
Okay, so basically, you began in Ohio. Didn't see anything that interests you at all with any like Max, no modeling or anything. Like they didn't have no art stuff at all. If I'm
Well,
correct.
I wouldn't say nothing at all. Just definitely not as much. It's a little bit more difficult to find. Like I
Okay.
got my start modeling in Ohio, technically West Virginia, but it's just right across the river. My friend Kiamo, Oxygen Garden, he's the one who really like encouraged me or inspired me to start modeling a lot more because I did a photo shoot with him and he was just awesome. And just talking to him, you can tell how passionate he is about what he does and that he truly sees it as an art form and really enjoys doing it. And it seemed like we just had the same vision whenever we would do a shoot together, which I think is really, really important. So I definitely wouldn't say there's no art scene. Like I do keep up with some people from back home who are making their own zines. Like they have art showcases. So there that does exist. Um, but it is a little bit different down here and it's kind of hard to explain the differences, but there's just more people. I guess I would just say, yeah, there's more people who want to do that kind of stuff down here, especially with Flagler. I feel like, being a liberal arts college, there's
Right.
a lot of people who want to do stuff like that, and just yeah, I don't know.
I understand. Yeah, I see some of this work, dude. He does an amazing job, and I know, like,
Yeah.
back when I first met you, you seemed she was like, I think she's done this for a long time. Someone had to inspire her to keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I moved here, I maybe been modeling. I feel like I've been modeling for a couple years. I think it was like a couple, yeah, before I moved up here. But I mean, I've met so many different photographers since I've moved here. Like, there's still, like I said, a few back home, but there's just, I feel like all over Florida, there's all these creative communities. Whereas in Ohio or back home, it's like very specific little pockets where, I mean, I feel like you could go to like almost any, like St. Augustine, Gainesville, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, like you're going to find some type of pretty strong creative community there, especially
Right.
Gainesville. I've heard a lot of good things about Gainesville.
Yeah, of course. Um, was there a moment when you realized modeling was more than just standing in front of a camera? It was a form of storytelling.
Yeah, I enjoy modeling because, well, first of all, it's something that I was able to get comfortable with. And I think a lot of people obviously are very hesitant to step in front of a camera at first if you're not used to it. But once you understand how to kind of move your body and pose, it's really enjoyable. I love dressing up and expressing myself through fashion. And I am inspired by a lot of like media, I feel like, and a lot of stuff from my childhood. Like anytime I want to do a photo shoot, I like think back. Like honestly, I would love to do like a Monster High type photo shoot. Like last year for Halloween, I did Ghoulia for Monster High. So I don't know. I have a lot of stuff like cooking up that I want to do eventually, but where was I even going to see? This is why I'm bad at interviews. I've never been interviewed before. So I just get started and I lose my train of thought.
You're doing great so far, but
So thank
but
you.
going back to that Guya photo shoot, I mean, you've done a lot of few pop culture stuff. Have you ever? And listen, I know this one topic you don't want to talk about. Are you gonna do like any sort of like anime characters at some point, maybe? If you think about it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really watch anime. I've never really watched anime. Like I've seen some stuff, but because it's not something that's personal to me, really, it's not something that I'm super interested in doing. But I mean, it depends. A lot of people have told me that I know this isn't anime, but it's like an animated show, so it made me think of it. But Jinx from Arcane, a lot of people have told me to do her, and I'm thinking about it just because it might be fun. But yeah, I don't know about anime just because, like I said, it's not necessarily personal to me.
I understand. So pretty much it's on the shelf for now. We'll think we'll come
Yeah,
back to it at a later time. But
yeah.
it's nice that modeling is a form of storytelling. I think what happened was I think I was just so focused on taking pictures with you guys. I wasn't really focused on the art and the storytelling. I think I was just focused on trying to make sure I have something for my portfolio to show. But I thought to myself, what's the point of all this? Like, why am I doing all this? Am I trying to like tell a story here? Am I? Well, it was crunch time, and plus we had
Yeah.
COVID-19, and we were about to
But
graduate,
I
so I
think
really didn't have
that is
time.
a very important question to ask yourself, though. I think that's a really good thing to reflect on because a lot of people probably don't. And honestly, sometimes there doesn't necessarily have to be any type of story behind it. Sometimes you can just do stuff for fun. But I think it's important to note that it's not always just like, oh, pretty hot, but there's something else behind that.
Yeah, exactly. Like any kind of creative work that you do, whether it's art, videos, or photo shoots, anything like illustrating, writing, directing, there's got to be some kind of story behind the whole framework of the
Hmm.
project.
Definitely.
So, I'm going to the next section now. So, styling and creative direction. You styled all the outfits in your portfolio, and I've seen it myself on your website. What's your
Yeah.
approach to creating a visual story through fashion?
What is my approach? Honestly, I It's definitely a collaboration when it comes to strike and everything like that, because I do have a whole team that I'm working with. So, and because of the way that we're sourcing our clothes, like since we don't have a budget, we're not, you know, I mean, we buy stuff on Depop and we go out and thrift for it, or we use our own closets. So Depop is like you can find some pretty specific stuff on there, but most of the time it's just looking through whatever you have and trying to piece something together, which is usually pretty easy actually. I have a lot of really great stylists on my team, and I think it's really important to like I think a really cool part of fashion is being able to just work with what you have, instead of overconsumption. You know, we love reducing, reusing, and recycling.
That always works. Sometimes when I don't have everything I need, I was like, well, looks like I got to work with what I got. You know,
Yeah,
short string. We're on a short string here. A
and
place with
that
limited
can
resources.
that can really push you to be more creative and think outside the box when you don't have as many options, because it's not, yeah, like I said, it's not like I'm going on, a million different websites or whatever. Or I mean, we have borrowed clothes from like local shops and stuff before, but we really don't do that as much either. But I think it does force you to really think outside the box and create something that you may have not expected initially.
Okay. Okay. So pretty much, you just use what you can. Go to all these different, like stores or online websites. You know, I think that's what people are using these days. Okay, let me say for example, there's something that I really want or have or need something, but they don't have it in this particular store. Now, some of the stuff that I have in my room right now, I did have to order that stuff off of like places like Macari.
Mm-hmm.
FYI, I did get that huge armored All Might figure from Japan off of Macari. I was geeking out. So do not judge me if I start ordering stuff from out of the country.
No, 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 no.
So
I will not judge you at all. I'm more so talking specifically about like fashion and fast fashion, especially. I think that that's a huge issue right now. Like I don't know if you've seen, but on TikTok they'll have these ads and it'll be like, "Oh, here's a link for $800 worth of free stuff on Shein." And stuff on Shein costs like $5 to $10 a pop because it's, probably being produced by child labor, and it is not high quality materials. So $800, no one needs $800 worth of stuff from Shein. Absolutely no one.
no,
And I guarantee you half of that's going to end up in the landfill within who even know, within a couple months, because nobody needs that much clothes.
shoot, yeah, don't spend money when you don't have to. There's other
No.
options to try out.
But that's the thing too. It's not even about spending money. Like it's like these, they'll give them like a gift card that's $800 worth of clothes. So they don't even have to spend money. It's just like overconsumption.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is. It's too much. I'm like, no one needs that.
no, you don't. Where do you draw inspiration when putting a look together? Are you mood board driven, spontaneous, or just both?
I would honestly definitely say a mix of both. I like putting together some mood boards sometimes, but I just really like to, like I kind of said before, just see whatever I have and try to throw something together. Like I'm really not a name brand type girl, or I don't adhere to a specific aesthetic because I don't like putting myself in a box like that. I like playing with different like colors and patterns, and I really like mixing girly with edgy. Like I think I have a decent balance with that.
Okay, so you just pretty much like you just so pretty much just brainstorming. You just like brainstorm like, okay, this is the type of stuff we want to do. right?
Yeah, and I
Uh,
definitely do see things that inspire me, but like I said, I don't like to adhere to a specific aesthetic. I like to try different things out because I don't want to necessarily be put or like nailed down into one box. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, if you want to have a particular aesthetic, I think that's fine. But I think people are kind of too worried right now with like, oh, does this match what I've got going on, or does this match my aesthetic? And you know, it doesn't really have to. Like, I think people need to kind of let go of that idea and just wear whatever they want.
okay. Yeah, sometimes when we, do different things, like, myself, I have to test the waters out first and think,
Mhm.
okay, what exactly am I going for here? I have to picture it in my head for a few seconds and
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
So, do you see styling as just a part of your modeling or a creative lane of its own you want to expand further?
I would definitely say it is something that is separate. I mean, obviously they go together because pretty much all, or maybe not even pretty much, just all of my own shoots I've styled myself from stuff that I have. So that's definitely, you know, a huge part of my modeling, but it is its own separate thing because, you know, I do it for Strike and I haven't really done much styling outside of Strike. I'm I have been thinking or possibly working on a couple projects, but I definitely would like to expand that. I mean, the only thing is, to be honest, is I just don't know a ton of people who like
Mm-hmm.
need those
Yep.
services right now. Like I even applied for like I think it was like a workers union thing for like hair and makeup and styling because I
Yeah.
would love to do something like that. Like work for like a production, like a stage production
Yeah.
or something. Like I know someone who like has a friend who does costume design for Cirque du Soleil, which I think is awesome. So eventually what I'd really like to do is learn how to make my own clothes and be able to like design costumes and stuff like that. That's what I would really, really like to do. But I have a sewing machine. I've had it for a while now and I've like used it a couple times, but I just need to motivate myself more to actually do it.
Okay. Yeah, because there's someone I know who actually is about to graduate from SCAD. She's actually doing like Broadway like custom design. I don't know if you ever want to do like Broadway shows or something like that, but
No,
maybe
that would be awesome.
because I know mostly the Broadway shows are going to be in New York, and the way you've been explaining like your sewing machine, doing your own styling thing, eventually, when you get to a certain age, you want to do your own thing. I just thought, hey, maybe she might want to go to Broadway in New York for a bit, for a few years, maybe create some custom designs for like any shows. I don't know if you might want to do that.
Yeah, no, I love Broadway. I love musical theater. I've actually been to see a good few Broadway shows myself, so I would love to do something like that for sure.
Okay. I just want to pick your brain about because I think she might be interested in that. That was one of the things I wanted to ask you about too, in this
Yeah, I know
conversation.
that's super cool.
Okay. On to the next section. What do you love most about collaborating with small creators and artists?
Oh, that's my favorite thing ever. That's really what I want to do ultimately. I kind of feel like that's part of my superpower is like connecting people who are in the creative community, I guess you could say, because I don't know, I'm a small creative, so I love supporting other people who do that. Like anybody who like makes clothes, jewelry, photography, that's actually what I want to do eventually with my zine is to collaborate with a bunch of different people
Right.
and kind of showcase their work as well as mine.
I gotcha. I mean, because I know you've been doing that for like for the 4 years since we've been together at Flagler. Me myself, Elf. You actually work for me like as many times as possible because I ask for your help mostly just because you're a good friend and I always need help when I need something. So
Yeah, no, I love collaborating with people. That's genuinely like one of my favorite things ever. I don't know. I just don't know why like you wouldn't want to. You know, as like a creative person, like why wouldn't you want to collaborate with other creatives? It gives you a sense of community, and obviously you can get like a really cool, not product in the sense of like something that can be sold, but just like as in the final product, like you come out with something really, really cool.
Right.
So I love it.
I know I wasn't perfect, but
No, it was always fun to do shoots with you.
but I, but I managed to get through it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, uh, let's see. Okay, next one. When a project really clicks, what does the energy feel like on set?
Ooh, what a project. Oh my God. That's this is so funny because this just makes me think seriously, almost every strike shoot, not saying this is a negative thing at all, but like every strike shoot were, at least me, just because I'm an anxious person, I get stressed. And now that I'm fashion director, I'm in a little bit more of a position of authority, I guess you could say. So I'm like seeing over all these people, so it's slightly more stressful. But I'm always like freaking out, like, oh my God, I don't know if this is gonna come together. I feel like I messed this up, blah blah. And yeah, as soon as we get like everyone dressed, we get all the props together, and like just everything is finally there after we've been planning it. It's like just this huge like sigh of relief. And then it's just like pure excitement. It's just like, oh my God, I'm so hyped. Like the entire the entire shoot will just be like dancing around and excited because we just absolutely love how it's turning out. Because it is hard to trust a vision until you actually see all of it coming together in front of you. But that genuinely is such a rewarding feeling.
I could tell y'all must have had some kind of like swinging shindig or go in the studio or something.
Yeah, I think with our last couple of issues, we've definitely been a lot more prepared beforehand. So we were a little bit more, I don't know, like we knew what we were walking into more than we have in past issues. But it's still, even when you have like more preparation, it can still be nerve-wracking because, like I said, you never really know until it's there and it's happening. So
All right, I got you. All right, on to the next one. This one's gonna be very important. Okay, it's called, because I also read in your page something about the values and representation. So,
mm-hmm.
but first, let me just give a little brief description. So I had it. So listen, like I had a shoot recently. I think it was like 2 months ago in April. You know, it reminded me how fragile trust in this work can be, especially
Oh yeah.
when you're a black man working in creative spaces that are mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
One slip up and suddenly you're the villain, even if you apologize. Now,
That's true.
had a bad experience. It shook me up. I've been thinking a lot lately about how fast situations can flip up for people who look just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
huh?
yeah, no, you're so right. It's kind of funny because my photographer from back home, Kiamo, he's African, and he's made like a similar comment. I forget, he made a joke about something. I forget what he said, but he's like, you can't. How do I phrase this? Basically, he was just like, oh, people are gonna assume something's going wrong when you have like an older black guy and then there's like a younger white girl, and people have their assumptions. Right. Even today, which is genuinely crazy to me. Like I had just seen this post on like Twitter or something about how someone was arrested. It was like this younger black man was arrested for armed robbery or something, and literally one of the first replies was, oh, 7% of the population is committing 50% of crimes. Like, this is the same suspect every time. And it just like blows my mind that, well, it does blow my mind, but you see it happening. Like, there's people who are blatantly racist all the time still. So it's definitely scary to go into something like that, not knowing what to expect or how you're going to be perceived. And that's why I do think it's really important to show representation, not only just like racial diversity, but also diversity in body types as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very important that everyone can see themselves represented on screen. Like, for example, whenever the Little Mermaid came out, the live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah, 2023,
and
right?
I remember, I'm sorry?
Yeah, 2023, right?
Yeah. And I remember, seeing these videos of like so many children like being so happy that they finally could see themselves like represented on screen.
Right.
And it's crazy that it took until 2023 for, something like that to have that effect. And I know there's like other media out there that does the same thing, but we're definitely lacking, and we could definitely do better with stuff like that. And I think it is slowly improving, but representation is definitely a huge thing.
Yeah. And, as a black creative, I've started pulling back from photo shoots lately because of a situation that I had recently because, it reminded me how race still plays into who gets grace and who gets dragged in the mud.
Yeah, you can even see that. I've just had Love Island on the brain, but like, you can even see that with like reactions to stuff like that in the media. Like, I feel like people kind of demonize like Shelly, who's a black woman, for one mistake she made, and then they just like couldn't see her differently the entire show when it wasn't really that big of a deal in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So, and Allie, I know you care about representation. How do you see this playing out in modeling and creative spaces?
So I definitely, like with Strike specifically, we definitely try to represent as, oh my gosh, I really cannot talk this morning. I was so nervous to do this, but yeah, we do our best with diversity at Strike as well. Obviously, we can only like pick from who applies, but as long as there are people applying who we can use, who will be able to represent people who may not see themselves represented very often, I definitely want to collaborate with more people, like really anyone. And like I said, it's not just about racial diversity, it's also about body diversity. Because I mean, if you look back on, for example, like America's Next Top Model, from like the early 2000s, some of the women that they are calling plus size are like a size 6 or a size 8, which is absolutely crazy. And I think it's impossible to keep up with any type of body standard because it's constantly changing. So I think it's important that we actually have people out there, like real women of different skin types, different skin textures, like, women with rolls, women with curves, women with cellulite, like everything, because that's real. And what's not real is all of these bodies with plastic surgery or Victoria's Secret models who are training at the gym 24/7 and on an extremely strict diet. That's not real,
I gotcha. And it's nice that you're taking like Strike and anyone else taking these certain steps to like.
Yeah, no, that's it is really important for us.
Are there any personal experience that made you passionate about representation in the fashion or modern world, like good, bad, whatever it is?
I would say for me personally, as a white person, and I am like skinny, I would say that I'm considered conventionally attractive. So me personally, I have never necessarily experienced anything like that where I felt like I was left out, maybe other than the fact that I'm, let's say, not the most like curvaceous. But I will say, for me, it was just kind of like a learning experience. And this goes like all the way back to even high school. Like I said, when I went to high school, like there's just no diversity there whatsoever. So I only knew about what was in front of me. And whenever I started actually going online and talking to other people and getting different perspectives, it really opened up my mind. And, I can't say that I'm perfect, but I feel like I'm pretty good at being able to step outside and put myself in someone else's shoes. So although I can't fully understand that myself, I could see where someone else would be like, I never see myself represented. So
Mhm.
I feel like it's kind of my job to help help with that, because I have the ability to. So why wouldn't I? Like, why wouldn't I want to
Yeah.
showcase diversity?
And it's nice that it all started in one little Spice high school. Thing is, like me in Savannah, Georgia, I went to a black led high school. Of course, there were
Mm-hmm.
some white people in there. It was kind of hard to like. I couldn't even fit in with anyone, whether it's like black people or white people in there. But mostly because I was mostly on the nerd side.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have a lot of black nerds who are into the same stuff I am, and there was just a few white people who were just kind of being like nasty to me at all, like. And to be honest, I was friends with one of them. He actually texted me like a few days ago, but I didn't respond back to him because he's basically on like the other person's side instead of like being with me. Because when we went on a trip to Orlando, Florida, I think it was like 6 years ago. Yeah, 2019. He basically left me behind. He I was in a hotel room by myself, and he just left me with the other group, and I was like, "This is disgusting."
Yeah, that's
So,
messed up. I
so,
wouldn't text him back either.
so it was kind of hard to like for the last 6 years it was hard to find new friends. But I went to college and I found you guys, and I know we're
Mhm.
not we don't usually hang out in person, but at least I'm trying to like talk to you guys now digitally, especially with me doing these podcast episodes. At least I'm doing something. At least I'm trying to.
No, definitely. I love that you're doing the podcast. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really good idea too.
So it's just think everything's gonna work out as long as I just stay focused and just don't give up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like I find it difficult sometimes to be able to like push past, my own feelings. Like, you might get down and depressed, and that makes it really, really hard to be creative or to want to do anything, period. Like, even just taking care of yourself sometimes is hard. So, to try to find inspiration when you're feeling down, it's difficult. But it is very important to push through and keep on trying, because if you give up, I mean, what are you going to do? So I think it's great that you're trying out new projects. I think new projects are great. That's why I'm really trying to stick with the zine, because there's so many different things that I've
Yeah,
wanted to do. It's almost like distracting. So I think it's nice to like have something to focus on.
yeah. After the last year in April, I just figured this photo shoots ain't work for me. So I had to put photography back on the shelf for a long time. So I haven't been back in
Mhm.
like 3 months.
Yeah,
So
and sometimes it's like that, because I think it's nice to have like, multiple different crafts or trades or whatever, that you know how to do. And sometimes something will go on the back burner, and I feel like that's fine. That, that's just life. Like, there's about a million different things that I want to learn to do that I just haven't yet. Like I said, sewing. I feel like I buy new things from Hobby Lobby
yeah, of
like
course.
every week.
Yeah, definitely. And after that, I felt like okay, I had to brainstorm for like a few days to be like, okay, let's go back to my college playbook. What else can I do? Because I do have a bachelor's degree in digital media production. I didn't get that for nothing.
Yeah,
So I had to go back to my
exactly.
playbook. So like, what else can I do? So the thing starts. So it came back to me. Hey, I did a few documentaries. I am good with talking with people. So I thought, hey, let's try doing some interviews. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
no, I
start.
think you're a great interviewer. I feel like the questions that you've asked so far have been very well thought through.
Yeah. So I just, after that, I just thought, let's start a podcast. So far, I got 4 episodes. The first one I did, I think you know her, Brianna Gracie, by any chance?
Yeah,
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 it
I
blew up.
don't.
It blew up to 1,000 views.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know her super well, but I know that she's modeled for Strike before.
Yeah, she's very nice. And I was like, well, shoot, guess I better keep doing it since I got 1,000 views. Because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
soon, I sent out a few emails. I'll tell you a little secret. I'm actually getting ready to interview voice actors from shows and anime stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super exciting.
So tune in for that. But sometimes the agencies can be a little slow getting back to me. But I did get some emails back, so it's a work in progress. But
Oh yeah, I definitely will be tuning in.
but anyway, only got 2 sections left. All right, you ready?
All right, yeah, let's
So
go.
vision, growth, and dreams. What's a dream creative project you haven't done yet, but can't see your mind clearly?
Ooh, a dream creative project that I haven't done yet. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I honestly, like what I said earlier, like making, I don't know why, but making costumes for Cirque du Soleil sounds so cool. But yeah, just like making costumes for some kind of like dramatic theatrical production like that. Like I definitely want to learn how to make my own clothes. And I think the thing that like what's the right word? That really attracts me the most about fashion honestly is I love being able to create. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where I was going with that. I can't do this. I can't do interviews. But basically, yes, creating costumes for things would be amazing, but specifically something like Cirque du Soleil where the costumes are very exaggerated and colorful and they have kind of a story that goes along with them.
Okay. So you got a few things planned out for the future. I know you got Blaine juices going through there, because
Yeah,
I know at some point
I
you'll think to like sketch it all out, maybe write down, put some notes down.
yeah, I definitely, to be honest, am more of a person who is just kind of I'm not a huge planner. I'm not a huge planner at all. And honestly, even when I was in college, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. It was just college was something that I felt like I had to do, if that makes sense, or something that I should do. But, even then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I think growing up, like being 24 now, it's very different from when I started college. I've kind of accepted the fact that a lot of people don't know what the hell they're doing, and that's fine. Sometimes you just gotta take life day by day and figure it out. So that's kind of what I've been doing since I graduated. But I feel like as long as I have creative projects to keep me happy, like I'll be fine. I don't care about getting like a bunch of followers or getting a bunch of views or being like well known or getting a bunch of money from modeling. Like that's why I haven't tried to sign to any agency or anything like that. I just enjoy the whole creative process behind it and just like having a good time with people and collaborating with other people. That's really what I enjoy about it. Would it be nice to make a little money off of it? Yeah, sure, but right now I kind of just do it to have fun, and I do, my two other jobs to keep myself afloat.
It's kind of funny that you said that because I was just thinking the same thing. Like last 6 years, I was so focused on standing out. Like I didn't care
Mhm.
about what I was supposed to be doing at college, trying to like graduate, because I made the wrong mistake. I wasn't focused on what I was supposed to be focused on doing. I was just focused on being standing out and just being
Mhm.
known. Like I just know this guy, but it gets overwhelming when a lot of people know you. And I was like, okay, let me give you one example. Lizzo.
Yep.
I know you know Lizzo. She said, "Don't try to be famous. You'll never leave." Because she said if you want to keep doing art, do art without the fame.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I don't really understand the appeal of fame. I really don't. Like, sure, it's cool for a bunch of people to know your work, but like, now this is a really, really like kind of hefty example, but let's just like Chapel Roan, for example, right? She's a good example of somebody who went from, she definitely had like a good following, but her fame exploded overnight. So she's going from really, we'll just say regular person to having all of this attention overnight. So, she can't go out anywhere anymore without having people stop her. She can't really have any privacy. Like will dig into your past. They'll try to find out where you are. Like even, with all of these, like the people on Love Island, like people dug into their old social media, they dug into their past, they found like pictures of them from middle school. And it's like, I don't need all that. I don't need people in my life like that. You know what I mean? I just want to like have a good time and make cool stuff. I don't need every single person to know who I am. Like, that's just not really something that motivates me.
That's true. And some of the movies I be watching, I watched a little TED talk that Josh Brolin was on talking about, he was Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. He was basically talking about, like, this profession, this day and age, 9 times out of 10, actors want to figure out how to be famous. Where back in the
Yeah,
day, it was all about paying your dues. Basically, he's
right.
saying, yeah, like for actors who are doing these movies, don't do it for fame. Do it because you love the art, the passion, and
Hmm.
the craft of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there are some actors out there who definitely still do that, but yeah, I can definitely see what you mean because a lot of people, especially these days, with how quickly things can go viral on the internet, a lot of people are motivated by clout or by fame, and they aren't genuine with what they're doing. They just want attention. And sometimes it can be hard to like, differentiate who's just genuinely just there to put their stuff out there. I mean, sometimes it's pretty easy. It depends on what tactics you're using, but people can definitely be deceiving about their true intentions. But what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. What can you do? Oh,
Yeah, you just gotta do what's best for you. You can't control how anybody else lives their life, unfortunately.
no, you can't. Um, if you could represent a brand or movement tomorrow, what would you want it to stand for? Anything.
Oh, do you mean like a specific brand or just like?
Any specific brand, any kind of like art brand, like Voto, or what do you want it to stand for? And if
Oh
that's too
gosh,
difficult, I can skip that one.
yeah. I don't even know. I don't have like a specific brand in mind, but I guess what I want my brand to be is this sounds so hmm. I want my brand to be like colorful and inclusive and a little bit edgy at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe that well. I feel like that's something that I would actually have to like sit down and like think about and type out. I feel like I've always been the type of person who's definitely better at answering stuff when I've had time to sit down and process it a little bit more. But
I understand, but at least you're thinking of something that might come up. You just don't
yeah,
know.
definitely. I mean, I definitely do have an idea. It's just sometimes it's difficult to put into words. Like I have an exact like picture and idea and understanding in my head, but just trying to translate that is just kind of difficult for me sometimes.
I got you. Where do you hope your work leads you in the next 2 to 3 years? Not just professionally, but personally as well.
Um I just hope that I'm able to grow as I have been growing and learn more things and meet and oh my gosh, and meet more people. Um yeah, like I said, I don't really care whether or not it's something that a lot of people see, but it would be cool if I could be supported financially in some way from it. But yeah, I just want to keep like growing and learning. Um, Mainly, as I said, eventually I'm gonna learn to sew. I'm gonna learn to make my own clothes. That's something that I genuinely, really, really, really want to do. So I do hope that for my future. But yeah,
Well, as long as you stay determined, and you are, I know you are.
yeah, and the thing is, I have the materials to do it, but I honestly just lack the motivation. And I do think that this is an important thing that not a lot of people talk about. I see more people talk about it lately, but as I mentioned earlier, just how difficult it is to be creative when you're depressed. Like, honestly, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to figure that out. It's hard to motivate yourself to want to do things. And the thing is, after I don't want to say like force, but sometimes you do have to force yourself to do things. When I finally force myself to do something again, I'm like, I feel good about it and I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's just about taking those first initial steps that's difficult sometimes.
Well, one thing I will say is just one day at a time. Just one day at a time.
Yeah,
That's all I can
definitely.
say. That that's the trick. That's the trick to like dealing with all kinds of things coming at you from all directions. Just one day at a time.
Yeah. And like I said, I work, well, I actually don't even think I mentioned this, but I do work 6 days a week. So it can be, kind of difficult sometimes when you work so much. Because to be honest, I don't want to do anything after I get off work. Like, I want to get off work and I just want to lay around all day. So, but you have to work to pay the bills because right now, unfortunately, my creative endeavors do not pay the bills. So it is definitely a balance. And I'm sure that's how it is for a lot of smaller creative people as well.
Yeah. And I will, and I do agree with you that there's been a few people who just be focused on a few things like okay, let's say for example, I've been doing like video game walkthroughs for the last 6 years. Been doing photos and like listen. While I do enjoy the media stuff, that department can be a little bit limited. So
Yeah.
I decided, okay, what else? What can I do in the meantime? So I went back to school. Almost done with my certificate program. I'm taking up cybersecurity.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So I won't be done until Christmas, but thing is with that, I'm pretty much be working anywhere across the globe. So probably
Yeah,
after
it's
the
super convenient.
so what?
I said that's really convenient because you can work anywhere.
Yeah, and pretty much I do love technology. I mean, people be telling me I have too many gadgets on me. I mean, but pretty much I'm the guy with all the toys. But but mostly, you gotta have something to like financially support all the stuff that you're doing, because I know. Because here's the thing, like after this year, you guys might not see me again for a long time because I might be out of the states for like a few years.
Oh, really?
So I mean, who knows? But we have to see what happens when we get there. And I have heard that some of these producers, these writers, voice actors, and who all these people, they have other jobs besides just you know doing voice actors. Because you have to wait until the next opportunity presents itself and be like, okay, this project's done. What else can I do in the meantime?
Yeah, definitely. It's for me, it's can be kind of difficult to find that meantime.
Well, but you're making it work. I mean, I know you're gonna figure things out. Just
Yeah, I definitely don't do as many shoots as I used to do just because, yeah, I do have less free time. But I also have a bunch of shoots that I haven't even, put out or anything yet because I want to wait until my zine comes out. So my zine will have, I don't even have a name for it yet. So it's definitely in the baby stages. But I have, I believe, all of the shoots finished for it. So I did a couple of new shoots for that, and then I think I'm going to include a couple of pre-existing shoots that I've already posted before.
I got you. Um, what advice would you give your younger self, or someone just getting started in creative work who doesn't feel seen yet?
I would definitely say that you just need to be me, especially I can get very unsure of myself. So I guess I would just tell my younger self to, be confident and not worry so much about what other people might think. Just trust yourself and your vision and just go for it because that's really all you can do. Because there are a lot of people who are really held back by things like that. And if you're not one of them, then you have an advantage in the sense that like you're getting your stuff out there, you're doing something that other people might not have the courage to do. And I mean, at the end of the day, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like people don't really like it. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. People's opinions isn't a reflection of who you are. It's just a reflection of, I don't know, their personal taste. And if you're not their cup of tea, you're not their cup of tea. So, just go for it. Do stuff. If you enjoy something, then go for it. Like, I was terrified every time that I've ever walked in a fashion show, which has only been like 3 times. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
I'm always terrified, even though I used to do dance, so I've been on the stage before and everything, but I need to not use curse words. I curse too much, but I was just scared. I was terrified. And, you just kind of got to hype yourself up. And I think part of what helps me is that whenever I do get dressed up or I do my makeup, it kind of does, it's not that I don't feel like myself, but it does feel like I'm always putting on a more like confident version of myself. I'm like, I feel almost like a different person. So when I like go out on that stage, you just act like a different person. I just act way more confident than what I normally would. And I think it's easier to do that when you have something like, for example, my first fashion show that I did, I had this crazy like 80s rocker faux hawk, and that is not something that I typically do, which I wish I could, but I can't do that hair on myself. So I felt like a completely different person. Like, it's like I had taken on this new, more confident persona. So then I was able to do it.
Okay. And lastly, do you have anything you want to say to anyone who might, need anything you want to tell people who might be doing any kind of like creative career, or just basically just basic any like regular career in general kind of thing? Anything you want to say?
I mean, I think basically just the advice that I gave to my younger self could be applied to anyone, because I do have a lot of people who ask me about modeling, and I think my best advice when it comes to modeling specifically is just number one, find a photographer that you are really comfortable with and that you guys have like the same vision for the end of the shoot, because that's why I got so comfortable with modeling and ended up enjoying modeling so much, is because I was working with someone who, first of all, just made me feel very comfortable, because it is awkward at first. Like, when you're posing for a camera, it is posing. Like, the stances that you're in are not natural. They're not going to be things your body is just normally doing on a daily basis. So it does feel a little awkward, but as soon as you get used to that, and it's almost like exposure therapy. Like, you just need to keep doing it, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it doesn't hurt to try it out.
Yeah, agreed. Well, just want to say thanks for letting me out, get the chance to talk to you. I know this was nerve wracking, but
yeah, I just always get nervous that I'm not going to be able to express myself properly. I did okay. I didn't do too bad.
It's good. But anyway, if you want to check out any of Allie Woods' previous work or modeling shoots, just go hit her up on her Instagram. It's just Allie Woods. So, and yeah, if you want to, any models who might be interested in collaborating with her, just hit her up. Send her an email.
Yeah,
she'll be able to work with you. All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right.